and you got way more than you expected. So think about the last time you planned an event, planned an experience, and you ended up getting way more than you expected. A lot of times we confuse what manifestation looks like. We dream of something, we ask for it, and then it shows up just like we want it or even better. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about messages and manifestations in May. This is also our mid-month review. Good morning, Care Cozy. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I got a good story time for us today. For those people who don't quite understand what we say when we say we're going to manifest something, and note that the word is used interchangeably in most instances. So that could mean that you have prayed for something. And when you pray, you know that it's going to happen. You don't pray and think to yourself, oh, I hope that happens. Oh, I put it out there. Maybe the Lord will see fit for me to get it. So we're going to have a discussion about this, and we're going to do a mid-month review because we're about halfway through the month. We're on day 13. It's Monday morning, and we're in the month of me. And yesterday was Mother's Day. So I see this as a really great time to stop and to really think about how our month has been going. How have we made ourselves the center stage? And how have we made sure that everybody knows that this is my show, bringing main character energy? And so I'm going to start by going into the manifestation part. First, I want to ask you, what have you manifested? What have you manifested in the month of May? Put it in the chat. Tell me in the comments, what is it that you have manifested for yourself in the month of May? What is it that you prayed for? And then it arrived. You recognized when it arrived, and you understood that this came because I believed without doubt that it would be here, and I stepped into it as if it was. What have you manifested in the month of May? Come on, give it to me in the chat. Care Cozy, what have you manifested in the month of May? And if we cannot remember anything that we manifested in the month of May, that means that we're not being intentional with our thoughts. We're not being intentional with our actions. We're not being intentional with our prayers, because we know that when we're intentional, we put it out there and we make sure that it happens, and we know when it happens as well. So I've been planning this Mother's Day event. So I wanted something for everybody to do on Mother's Day, because some of us get really great gifts and a really great experience on Mother's Day, and then other people do not. But we know that the women in our lives are the ones who make our lives really vibrant and really, fun and exciting. And so I was like, what if I plan a Mother's Day event that brings together the sisterhood? And so I came up with this idea in February, and we need to start listening to the ideas that we get. So I came up with this idea in February. I don't know where it came from. And I said, what if we do a sisterhood? Because I remember when I was younger and didn't have kids, but I had already taken care of kids. I had already raised some kids. And so when Mother's Day would come, I would say in my head, they need to be getting me a Mother's Day gift. Because, and when I say raised, I'm not talking about somebody living in somebody else's house. I'm talking about, I had a nephew living with me. I was responsible for everything, just like a parent was. Parent teacher conferences, clothes, food, the whole shebang. Stayed with me for several years. And even before he moved in with me, I was already doing probably 50% of his care because of the situation that was. And so after doing that 50% for, 5, 6 years, I was like, you may as well come live with me. And that's what we did. And he stayed with me all the way until his senior year. And then he left and went to college. So anyway, back to the point. Kiara Cozy says, I'm manifesting completing my K-1 teaching and tutoring curriculum. That's my first one. Okay, so she got that out. What else are you manifesting? I want us to get into the habit. That's good. That's good, Kiara Cozy. I want us to get into the habit of manifesting several things. But let me get back to my story. So I came up with this idea, and then I sent the text. A lot of times, and I want y'all to pick up on these keys as I'm throwing them out there. These are gems. A lot of times we'll come up with an idea, and then we'll sit on it. We'll come up with an idea, and then 2 days later, we won't remember the idea. We'll come up with an idea, and we'll talk ourselves out of it. So when I came up with the idea, I was like, oh, that would be really good to have a Mother's Day event that brings the sisterhood together, and we can all come together and have a great time together instead of everybody going to do their own separate thing, and then some people not doing anything. And then at the end of the day, we calling each other saying, what did you do? Some people are disappointed. Some people are not. Some people had fabulous days. Some people had, regular days. So I planned a motherhood event that was a sisterhood day. And then the first thing I did, I sent the message out. Hey, y'all, Mother's Day is in May. I'm gonna plan an event. Go ahead and let your significant others know that I'm gonna make sure they still have time to do whatever they're gonna do for you. Do it in the morning time, because in the evening we'll get together and do our thing. That way everybody can do whatever they need to do. They can take you to breakfast, they can take you to brunch. As a matter of fact, we're just gonna spend about 4 hours together. So they can either still take you to dinner afterwards if they choose to. But I'm just putting that out there. Anybody who doesn't know what they're going to do on Mother's Day, we're not going to sit back and wait for people to show that they appreciate us and value us. We appreciate our own work. We value our own selves, and we're going to show up for ourselves. That was the message that I sent. So my first message to you is, when you get the thought, take action. You got to take action. So I sent that in February. Then I created the invite. I sent it out. And then I had to visualize, what would this day look like? I had to come up in my head with what this day would look like. And I said, okay, so what would make the perfect Mother's Day for me? And what would be perfect for everybody else? Because while it was about me and main character energy, I also need my supporting cast. And so I said, I would love to do a photo shoot. I said, a photo shoot would be amazing. And then with all of the women there, that would be beautiful to have a photo shoot. Let's do a photo shoot. And then I said, I want to do something that is not normal. We always just go out to dinner. I don't want to just go out to dinner. I was like, what else can we do? And so I thought about what were some things that I wanted to do. I wanted to make my own fragrance, my own signature fragrance, room spray, perfume. And so I started looking up places for that. Well, lo and behold, there were about 5 or 6 of them here. And so I just shot a quick email. The same email went to all of them. And you already know who your person is. See, a lot of us try to push our way into things. We try to force our way into things, and you cannot do that. And that was also a lesson learned that was put back in my face yesterday. So we're going to talk about how the day went and how my manifestation came to life. And then also the messages and signs that the Lord was showing me personally. And I want you to think about the messages and the signs that the Lord showed you last week as well. Care Cozy said, right, I agree. Just do it, plan it. I thought about that for next year's Mother's Day. Exactly. And so so I said, okay, so I sent the emails out and I sent it to the 5 places. 3 of them did not respond. 3 didn't respond. 1 sent me a text message probably 3 weeks later, because remember, this was in February. And then 1 sent an email immediately. Well, not immediately. I sent that on like a Thursday night, and he responded on Monday morning. Nice email. Like, you could feel the energy in the email. I'm telling y'all, people can feel your energy in your writing, the words that you choose, the verbs that you choose to use, the punctuation that you choose to use. When I read that email, I already said, oh, we got our place. And his email said, it's going to be very busy on Mother's Day. We do have capacity, and how many people are you bringing? Blah blah blah. We'd love to have you here. We're going to help to make your Mother's Day special. Blah blah blah. I was like, this is my guy right here. This is my guy. He said, tell me your number and I'll send you an invoice for the deposit, because you have to put a 10% deposit down. So I was like, awesome. I told him it'll be 10 people. Send me the invoice. We'll get it taken care of. Looking forward to making signature fragrances and candles with you on Mother's Day. Okay, so that was done, right? Or so we think, right? So we think. So that's done. And then I'd contact the photographer, get the photographer booked, everything, paid the deposit for the photographer. Well, guess what? About 3 weeks ago, the photographer sent back, and he was like, no, he didn't even send back. I sent him an email just to check to make sure, because he never asked for the location of my photo shoot, because the location was in a park. And so I sent him a text message, and I said, good morning. I was very cordial. Looking forward to the photo shoot. I noticed that you didn't ask for the location. I want to make sure that you are good coming to this location, blah, 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 on May 12th at 2 p.m. And he responded back, oh, wait a minute, May 12th, that's Mother's Day. How did you book for Mother's Day? He forgot to mark it off on his calendar that he wouldn't be available. So then my photographer was no longer available. I didn't let that get me down. I was like, okay, we going to do something different. So I put out a call. I said, anybody know another photographer who can come and take these photos? And I just let it go. I didn't try to force it. I didn't try to do anything like that. So anyway, let's get to the day of the event. So let me tell you this one last thing. So I planned this reservation at a restaurant called Persino's. It is a nice, middle price restaurant, because I was trying to be conscious of the fact that the group ranged all the way from 20 to mid 50s. Okay. So I wanted to be conscious of the fact that not everybody has the same level of income. So I did the reservation. We initially had 10 people, and then 2 people said that they were not going to be able to make it. So then we were down to 8. So I planned the reservation for 8 people. Okay. So I made the reservation for 8 people. Well, when we get there yesterday, once the dust settles and we get to our first event, which was the photo shoot, we have 12 people. We have 12 people. Well, this restaurant is not going, if you know, 12 people is a large party. At 8, they cut it off. At 8, you can, do regular reservations. At 12, you need to be on one ticket. You need to talk to a staff person so that they can make that reservation for you. So I called to see if they could increase the reservation. And they said, well, we can't increase the reservation. I said, well, what about if we walk in? Will you maybe be able to get us seated? And they were very nice, very friendly. They said, yeah, we have a patio and we have a back section. We may have to put you all at 2 tables, but we can definitely accommodate you. We still love to have you. And I was like, okay, great. So to me, everything was fine. It's a point to this story. I'm going to tell you about how I manifested all of this. Okay. So we get to the first location, which is where the photo shoot is. And this is when the women are pulling up. And when I say it was beautiful, I'll post pictures in just a little bit. When I say it was beautiful to see, everybody had to wear a solid color. So when you saw the solid colors coming up, I was like, yes, 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 because it was so pretty seeing these beautiful women, these powerful women, these intelligent women showing up in beautiful colors, bright, vibrant colors. It was so amazing. So what we did was we were like, well, we got cell phones. We can take our own pictures. And so that's exactly what we did. And so it actually turned out better because they did single photo shoots. We did group photo shoots. It was amazing. We had a good time. It was a beautiful day. It was beautifully sunny outside. It was great. The park location was beautiful. And, I'm going to tell y'all about the messages that the Lord has sent to me. But wait a minute. So then we go to the candle place. Our reservation was at 3:00. Well, at the park, the location that we was at, we had about a 5-minute walk to our car. So we were going to be late, period. And they were like, we're going to be late. We're going to be late. And I was like, that's okay. Our reservation was at 3. We're not in a rush. Anybody who has something to do, you need to say it now. And maybe you won't be able to do dinner with us, but we operate out of abundance. And we have an abundance of time. We have abundance of energy. We're not going to rush and create that frenzy. We're not going to let anxiety into our day. We're not doing that. Everything will be okay. Well, of course, you always have different personalities. And so one person was like, they're not going to take us. And I was like, girl, stop. You don't know that I'm God's favorite. You don't know that whatever I want, I get. And so I understand that you don't know that, but understand that everything's going to be okay. So we get to the candle place. We literally get there at 3:15. And I dropped my niece off at the door. My niece goes inside to let them know we're here, but we had to find parking. Parking was hard in this location because it's kind of a main street. We were in St. Charles on Main Street, so you have to find a parking space on a lot somewhere. And so I didn't get frenzied. I said, okay, I'm gonna let you out at the door, and you go ahead and let them know that we're here, and I'm gonna go find a parking spot. So I drove around the block, came back, and see, I know that the parking space guy gonna take care of me. If y'all don't know, the same guy is the same guy for everything. So when I say the parking space God, I'm not talking about a different God. I'm talking about the one supreme being. And it's just the different roles that's happening. So I was like, the parking space guy gonna take care of me. What happened? I saw this lot right behind the building that we were going into. I pulled onto the lot, baby. Why was there one spot available? I pulled right into it and was able to walk right there to the location. So we get inside, and the people said, "Oh, we have a 10-minute grace period. You all have already missed your 10-minute grace period, but we can still fit you in, but you may have like a 20-minute wait." So I was telling the lady, "Oh, that's no problem. We're not in a rush. We have time that works." Okay, so mind you, we had a 20-minute wait. The people were not even there because they had to find parking spaces. So it was actually working out very perfect. But for some people, when they would have heard a 20-minute wait, they would have been like, why we gotta wait? No, I was like, that's fine. So by the time everybody made it in, she was ready for us. She was ready for us. By the time everybody made it in, we were able to look at the perfumes, the scents, smell some of them, and figure out how things worked. And then she was able to take all of us. And at this point, we're at 13. So y'all see how these numbers steady going up. Do y'all? It's gonna go up some more. Don't you worry about it. So at this point, we're at 13. So we have a fabulous time at the fragrance place, and it's not somewhere and it's supposed to be therapeutic. It's supposed to be, you reconnecting. It's not any drinking. It's not any food being eaten. You are literally concocting a fragrance for your room spray or your candle. And then there are measurements that you have to do. And so, in the process of doing all this, it kind of gets quiet. You do a little talk to the person side to side. Let me tell you how this. Let me tell you how this. See, the Lord be sending messages. The Lord be showing you, but you don't be watching. You don't be listening. And so there was a person who always like got complaints. I'm thirsty. They ain't got nothing to drink in here. They ain't got nothing to drink. They need some food here. Why they ain't got no food? This would have been better if they had some crackers and food. So the Lord he was showing me, Chanel, everybody can't go. Chanel, I done taught you this message before. Chanel, I'm gonna keep running this back. I'm gonna keep running it back to you until you get it. So, I was like, well, that's okay. We don't have to eat everywhere we go. We're going to dinner afterwards. We'll be okay. It's a lot of places right here. I mean, you could literally step out the door, and right next door was another place. It was like a street filled with nothing but places. So I was like, you can step right next door, get you a bottled water if that's what you want, or whatever it is you're looking for. And the experience was only 30 minutes of the concoction making. So it's not like you're sitting there for 3-4 hours. It's literally 30 minutes. So we finish the candles, we have a good time, we all get paid. They got a photo wall. We go over there to take the photos. Amazing. We had a good time. All of the younger people had a good time. They were like, I had never done anything like this before. They loved their room, their sprays. And then we went into naming the sprays, which was amazing. So my niece came up with the idea. She was like, make sure y'all name y'all sprays. And at dinner, we're going to talk about why we named our spray, what we named it, and what we wanted to represent for us. So it was really fun. So we get ready to go to dinner. And so, a couple of folks are concerned about we're not gonna be able to get in because you need reservations. You ain't got no reservations. It's Mother's Day. Don't you know it's Mother's Day? And I was like, it is. It absolutely is. But don't you know that I'm God's favorite? Don't you know we're gonna get in and it's gonna be okay? So they wanted to divert to going to Texas Roadhouse. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, there's nothing wrong with Texas Roadhouse. Let me remind you, there's nothing wrong with Texas Roadhouse. But I feel like if you are celebrating yourself, if you are taking time for yourself, you should have something that you want. You should not settle or lower your standard down to a lower thing because you think that that's easier. A lot of us want to go with the easier thing. You shouldn't, don't do that. Let's go with what we're comfortable with. I know what Texas Roadhouse serves. I know I can find something on the menu. I know the pricing in Texas Roadhouse. Why? Because that's easy. That, like, let's stop doing that. Let's get out of our comfort zone. So I said, well, call Texas Roadhouse and see if they have any availability. First of all, I already knew that they were not, because all of the regular people thought to themselves, I'm gonna go to Texas Roadhouse. So I was like, they didn't have availability. First of all, they were like, no, we're not taking any reservations, and if you come as a walk-in, we don't know how long it's gonna be before you get seated. So then it turned into, oh my goodness, we got to find somewhere to eat. And I was like, no, we're just going to go to the original place. The lady already said that she would take care of us. It's going to be okay. Well, what if they can't take care of us? I said, why would we think about what we don't want? We're going to think about what it is that we want. I said, let me tell you something. You don't understand the God that I serve. See, it be the folks who tote the Bibles all the time and be Bible toting that don't be having real faith. I said, we're gonna get there. They're going to take care of us and we're gonna have an amazing time. We're not in a rush. It's okay if we have to wait a little bit. It's okay. So we get over to the place. The place was beautiful. The service was amazing. We walked in and they were like, oh my goodness, let's first say the place was not packed at all. She was like, yes, yeah, I talked to you on the phone, and yeah, we can accommodate you. She was like, we're gonna put you on the patio. The patio was enclosed with beautiful big glass windows. It was absolutely stunning. You'll see the pictures when I post them, so be sure and look at the next post because I'm gonna post pictures in just a little bit. But anyway, so we get there, they get us, or we get there, and they say, let us go clean the tables off. So at this point, we have four more people show up. Four. You heard me right. Four more people showed up. You heard me right. And I was like, that's okay. That's okay. They're going to take care of us. That's okay. We're fine. They're going to take care of us. Okay. What did the lady say after she had us seated? That's when the other four people showed up. Why was the table right behind us empty and available? So they said right behind us. It was a table of four, and it was four of them. Then the lady comes over and she says, in honor of Mother's Day, every woman, every mother can get a glass of Prosecco. And we were like, oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. And I'm telling y'all, ask for what you want. So I said, the Prosecco is amazing, but we are mimosa girls. How about you bring the glass of mimosa and a glass of pineapple juice, and we can create our own mimosas at the table? She said, it's Mother's Day. Your wish is my command. Baby, she brought us that pineapple juice. We did a toast with the Prosecco. We did a toast and said some words for Mother's Day to, support one another, and took a sip and then put us some pineapple juice in there. Baby, when I say the mimosas was on point. So one of the things, one of the next point I want y'all to pick up on, ask for what you want. Just because you don't see it on the menu, just because they didn't say you couldn't have it, that don't mean that you shouldn't ask for it. That does not mean you should not ask for it. I'm telling you. Then my other sister was sitting there and she said, I want a pina colada something that wasn't on the menu. And I said, just because it's not on the menu don't mean they can't make it. Ask for it. Don't you know that she was able to get it? So I want you to know you have not because you ask not. You have not because you ask not. Oh, and let me go back to the part where when I got to the when I was driving up to the place, I'm getting text messages saying there are no parking spaces over here at the restaurant. Ain't no parking spaces. You gonna need to park either on one of those lots or drive all the way down. So I immediately I had my niece in the car with me. I said, girl, I am so tired of people that don't have any faith, who don't know how to ask for what they need and step into it and wait for the Lord to deliver because it's gonna be delivered. Tell me why. I said, watch this, Shayla. That's my niece's name. I said, watch this, Shayla. I said, parking lot God, open up a space for me. We passed the restaurant, drove around the block, the little, it was a little, on the other side with the little divider in the middle. And tell me why a car was coming out 2 spaces from the restaurant. 2 spaces from the restaurant, pulled right in, no problem. I always thank God when my manifestations have been answered. Thank you, God. You always take care of me. I know I'm your favorite. So then my other niece calls me and she said, Auntie Nell, I'm here. Where did y'all park at? Because I can't find no spot. And it's all the way down the street. I said, drive back around. Don't worry about it. You know I'm God's favorite. Let me put in a request for you. While she was on the phone, I said, Lord, open up a parking space for Nitra. Give her a space so she can get right here by this building. And I let it go. Got off the phone with her. Baby, tell me why we got inside. I said, Nitra, where your spot at? She was like, it was somebody coming out right there in front of the bit. Okay. I said, you do know that was the parking lot guy, right? You do know that. So we always laugh about the parking lot guy. And so then somebody else was like, I had to park all the way down the street. I walked all the way down here. And I said, did you ask for a closer parking spot? Or did you just park into the first spot that you saw? You didn't expect a better parking spot. You drove past the place. You saw that there were no parking spaces and you kept going until you saw a parking space. We have to get into the habit of not accepting what we don't want. She didn't want to walk from all the way down with them tall heels on. And so, but she settled because we don't know how to ask for what we want. We think that we can only ask for big stuff and we shouldn't ask for little stuff. You can ask for all stuff. All stuff. Do you hear me? And so she parked all the way down. When we got ready to leave, I had to take her to her car because she didn't expect more. She didn't ask for more. She didn't require more. That's why she was all the way down the block. It's a lot of us who won't ask and we end up all the way down the block. We got to walk. By the time we get to our location, we're tired. And I'm using this analogy, but it's real life. Like it's real life. So then we get inside. We have an amazing time. The food was amazing. One of the things that the people noticed, the service was impeccable. The service was impeccable. The group of people that were in the restaurant was totally different than the group of people who would have been in Texas Roadhouse. Totally different. The conversations were totally different. The level of interaction were totally different. And it was a great experience, not just for us, but also the waitress was amazing. When I say she tended to our every need, she was absolutely amazing. We would not have gotten that level of service at Texas Roadhouse. We would not have gotten that level of food, all organic food, food that was sourced from local sources, and all of the things that are valuable and provide value. We would not have gotten that from Texas Roadhouse. But we have to be careful of who we surround ourselves with. Our decisions are what determine where we will be. And so in this mid-month, in the month of May, we are mid-month. I want us to do a mid-month review. I want us to think about what it is that we're manifesting in this mid-month, this Monday. We're going to call this Manifestation Monday. What have you manifested between May 1st and May 13th? What have you asked for? And how do you know if you received it? Did you even go back? Do you even remember what you asked for? Because some of us, we just say stuff and we're not serious about it. That's not manifesting. That's not prayer. That's not believing. It's the 13th of May. You've had 13 days in the month of May. What have you asked for? What have you manifested? What has come to fruition in your life that you desired, that you intentionally set out to achieve? See, we don't want to talk about that because we want to say stuff like, well, if it's for me, it's for me. Well, God didn't want me to have that. Lies, lies, lies from the pits of hell. Lies. I'm not going to sit and let y'all keep saying that, well, what's for me is for me. No, no, no. What's for you, you got to go out and get it. What's for you, you got to ask for it. What's for you is available, but you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. You want to keep doing the same thing that you've been doing. You want to keep all of your regular habits. You want to keep doing all of the things, being around the same people. I'm going to tell you what the thing is that has to change: our decisions. Our decisions. You got to make some different decisions. You got to decide that I'm going to sit in some different rooms. You got to decide that I'm going to be with some different people. You got to decide that I'm going to go to some different places to visit. You got to decide I'm going to have some different experiences. I don't know why we think that we can continue to do the same things that we're doing and continue to have the same thought process and continue to have the same belief patterns, but then want more. It does not work like that. The way that you dug yourself into that hole, that same person can't dig themselves out of that hole. You got to become a different person. You got to think a different way to get out of that hole you done dug yourself up into. Some of us can't be consistent. We cannot do a thing and continue to do the thing until you get to the reward. But we are okay. We are okay with being consistently broke. We're okay with consistently struggling. We're okay with consistently ripping and running and not being paid for our services. See, we can be consistent with that. We can be consistent with coming home and watching Tubi and doing all those things. See, we can be consistent with that. But we can't be consistent with building our business. We can't be consistent with growing ourselves. We can't be consistent with finding an accountability group. We can't be consistent with doing the things that will make us better. The way that we dug ourselves into this hole, that ain't the way you getting out. That same mindset that got you in there, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna stay there for 30 years and I'm gonna retire. That's how you dug yourself into that hole. You didn't know when you was digging that hole that meant I ain't gonna have no freedom. They're gonna be in charge of my time. I ain't gonna be able to do the things I want to. I ain't gonna be able to afford to do the things I want to. And it's a lot of politics. Y'all didn't know all these politics was happening in the school system. Y'all didn't know that COVID was gonna come and these kids was gonna be off the chain and these parents was gonna get into the 2000s and lose their minds on some occasions. Not all of them, just some of them. Y'all didn't know these things was gonna happen when you were 10, 12 years old, signed up to be a teacher. You didn't know those things was gonna happen. You didn't know when you had that dream at 10, 12 years old that there were going to be some significant changes in education. You didn't know that $40,000 back in 2010 is one thing, but $40,000 in 2024 is a whole nother thing, especially when cereal is $10 a box and a bag of and a bag of potato chips is $7. You need $30 for a pack of chicken wings. So that $40,000 that they was paying you back in 2010 when you started teaching, it look a whole lot different than the $40,000 they paying you in 2024. And it's the same thing for the $50,000 and the $60,000. You done already accumulated your life. So then we get into a stage of living paycheck to paycheck, of trying to get a part-time job. We're using all our work and time in a job that still ain't getting us what we need. But we keep thinking that if I just get one more job, if I just work one more summer contract, if I just do 2 more after school programs, if I just get one more stipend, it's going to change your life. It's not. That's the same way you dug yourself into the hole. That's the way you dug yourself into the hole. That ain't the way to get out. You still using the same type of thinking that you used to get into this hole. We followed the rules. We did what they told us to do. We showed up. We got the good grades. We were rule followers. We did everything that they said to do, but that was to benefit them. That was not to benefit you. And that worked in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And now that we're in the 2000s, we don't want to adapt. We just take what they give us. We're driving down the street. We're looking for a parking spot and we're going to take the first one that opens up. You don't have to take the first one that opens up. You can decide, I want to park closer. You can decide, I want to park under the light where it's safer. You can decide, I want to park right over in this area. But that means that you may have to go around the block again. That may mean that you may have to drive down the street and come back up. Some of us, we don't want to do that. Well, I'm just going to take the first thing I see. I'm going to settle. I'm going to take what they give me. I'm going to be grateful. And then that's what some of us say, well, we should be grateful for what we have. I don't want to be around those people because the Lord said that you can have more. And I'm not trying to turn this into a sermon, and I'm not a Bible toter. But I do believe in a supreme being, and I believe in manifestation. Just like when whatever happened for the creation, I didn't see no work happening. It was words being spoken. And all you have to do is believe it and speak the words. We won't even speak the words because we can't even believe big enough to have the things that we want. We have to stop settling for what has been given. So now we're in mid-month. What have we manifested in May? What have you intentionally said that you desire? Put it out into the universe. Said a prayer around it, whatever the process is that you use, and then stepped into the deliverance of it. Stepped into the deliverance of it. See, some of us, we say that we're manifesting, but we don't even believe that we can have it. We don't even believe that we can have it. When my niece said that she needed a parking spot, she didn't believe that she could have it. But sometimes we have to borrow other people's faith. And so, are you around people who you can borrow their faith? Some people don't have enough faith for themselves, so you can't borrow their faith. They didn't even believe they could get it. So why do you think they can get it for you? And see, we don't understand the power of being surrounded by people who are powerful. And when I say powerful, I mean able to do things that we see as extraordinary. When I say a spot is going to open, I'm not worried about that. Leave me alone because I'm God's favorite. And then the spot opens up and all 12 of them people sitting there to look at it and see me pull my vehicle into that spot. Don't you know they was thinking, that's something. She said that spot was going to open up. And there it was. When we get to the restaurant that didn't have reservations, that they didn't have seating for 12 people now, and we get there and the lady's like, oh, yes, absolutely. Let me go and get the tables cleaned. We can put you right out here on the patio, one of the best spots in the building. Don't you know that they are believers now? Don't you know that they are thinking to themselves, oh, Chanel said it. See, I'm okay with serving as the demonstration. I am not going to make myself small or pretend like I'm not God's favorite. And you are God's favorite too. We are all God's favorite, but you won't step into your favorite status because we're too busy playing supporting cast. So they got to see that. And then when they got the experience that we had, they understood we never would have had that experience over at Texas Roadhouse. Hey, Miss Keisha. Hey, how are you this morning? Miss Keisha, we trying to see what we manifested in May so far. We're in the middle of May. What have we manifested? Facebook and YouTube. We got some people on here. What y'all done manifested in May? And why are we scared to comment? Like, in order for you to be able to really get what you come to get, you got to be willing to comment and engage and speak when you come into the room. That, like, I feel like we getting to know one another. So I want us to really think about, it's Monday morning. It's Monday morning. It's the middle of May. We still got the other half of May to go. Let's reflect on what has happened in the first part of May so we can make the second part of May better. What have you manifested in the first part of May? And when we manifest, we got to know what it is that we're asking for. We got to be clear about that. Hey there, Miss Farida Lyda. Farida was there. Farida was there. Yes, ma'am. So what are we manifesting? Do we even know? Have we taken intentional time to say, these are the things that I'm praying for, hoping for in the month of May? And I take hope out because hope is not a strategy. Let me say that. Hope is not a strategy. We got to stop settling and believing that this is all that we can have. And I don't argue with people anymore. I don't argue with people anymore. When they going small, I let them go small. I used to be that person who would be like, "Girl, no, you can go bigger. You can get this. You can get that." I said, "Look here, let me." Okay, for Rita say she's manifesting good vibes and positive energy. Miss Keisha say, I love this topic. Yes, Miss Keisha, so true, so true. So, like, what are we manifesting? And we got to be specific in what it is that we want. We can't do this generalization thing. Then we get mad when it show up in a different way. You got to be specific. Be specific. What is it that you're wanting? What type of experience are you wanting? What type of thoughts are you wanting to have? What type of people are you wanting to meet? What type of actions are you going to take? I love that Care Cozy said she's going to complete her K through 2 curriculum. She's manifesting completion. And she has to believe that on May 31st, she will be complete, that curriculum will be complete. She has to believe that on May 31st, that curriculum will be complete. And then she has to step into the embodiment of a person who completed their curriculum, who has finished a curriculum, which then makes her a curriculum writer. If she's not already in the embodiment of a curriculum writer and taking on the identity of being a curriculum writer, the curriculum is not going to be complete. A lot of us, we want to write books, but the reason why our books are not complete is because we have not taken on the identity of an author. We haven't taken on the identity of an author. I remember I went to in November of last year, September of last year, I went to a writer's workshop. And when they sent the vehicle to pick me up from the airport, because it was fancy, child, it was fancy. They sent a vehicle to pick me up from the airport. It was with the Highlights Foundation, as a matter of fact. Y'all remember the little Highlights people? Um, and so when they sent the people to pick me up, the lady who picked us up, she was talking and she was like, it's so great to get to meet the authors. And I was looking around and I was like, oh, she's talking to the people in the back seat, because I was in the front seat. She's talking to the two ladies in the back seat. And then she asked the lady, she was like, so what is your book about? And the lady was telling her, then she asked the other lady, she say, so what is your book about? And so then the lady was telling her, and then she came to me and she said, and what is your book about? And at that moment is when I realized, girl, you are author. See, I hadn't stepped into the idea that I'm an author. I had not stepped into that understanding. When she said, it's so great to get to meet the authors, I was looking back in the back seat because they the authors, not me. How I'm gonna finish a book? That's why I wasn't making no progress. Then when I took on the identity of being an author, look here, things changed for me. Things changed for me. Then I looked at my drafts different. I looked at my drafts from a viewpoint of an author. Author, Dr. Chanel DeBose. I was like, I'm an author. I had to take on the identity of an author. Think about if you got pregnant and had kids and didn't take on the identity of a mother. Think about if you got married and didn't take on the identity of a spouse, of a married person. Think about if you bought a home and didn't take on the identity of a homeowner. You would let your property go because you're not a homeowner. You have to step into that identity. When I say I'm God's favorite, I step into that identity. When you are God's favorite, things happen for you that don't happen for other people. Things open up for you. You have no reason to be mad. Very few people will say they have seen Chanel mad because I don't get mad. Because it's like, okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm God's favorite. We got to step into that understanding. We got to step into that person. Kara Cozy says, I'm taking on the identity of a curriculum writer. Love it. And you know what? Change it on your thing. Add it onto your stuff. Curriculum writer. Like, we got to take on these identities. What are you manifesting in May? Let's get specific. Let's be real. Let's be really specific. What are the experiences that you want to have? See, I put together a Mother's Day experience, and the experience was everything that I hoped for and more. I had an amazing time. I was free. And that's what I want to be around, people who are free. People who are not free, they can't hang out with me. People who are stuck in bondage, they can't hang out with me because that's an energy drain for me. And I can't have things around me that drain my energy. The Lord sends you all types of messages through all types of things, but are you willing to listen? The Lord told me yesterday, the Lord said in his own way, girl, I done told you. You know what? I saw the Lord. He was putting his finger on my head like this. He was saying, girl, I done told you everybody can't go. He was telling me, girl, I done told you everybody can't go, and you gonna keep doing it anyway. He was telling me, I done told you how many times I gotta keep teaching you this lesson. And I said, you know what, I said, you know what? Sometimes I need a reminder. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Father. Thank you. I'm good. I won't do it again. Okay. And if I do it again, give me another reminder. Like if I do it again, give me another reminder. Because our parents give us everything they have out of love. And I understand that. So I took it in love. I understand that. I understand that. Do y'all understand that when you are learning your lessons, you are learning these lessons if you're taking it the right way through love. I don't get mad because I had to learn the lesson. I'm like, okay, I got it. I got it. So what are you manifesting for May? For some of us, when we talk about self-care, we only do self-care when we're frustrated. We only do self-care when we get mad. Somebody didn't appreciate us. Nobody helped me. We only do self-care when we get mad. I done had a long month. I had to do this, this, and that. Girl, I'm going to get me a massage. I need us to move from the idea of self-care to soul care. You need to learn to take care of your soul. And so, in taking care of your soul, you realize that you are a powerful person. You do amazing work. You show up in wondrous ways, and you need to take care of yourself. Why are you waiting until you are frustrated, out of strength, out of energy, and out of everything in order to take care of yourself? Plan to take care of yourself. Plan in advance to take care of yourself. I know I do a lot every month. I come on lives, I show up to events, I'm hosting mastermind meetings, I'm doing monthly planning, I'm doing one-to-one coaching, I'm doing school consulting. That's a lot in 30 days. That's a lot in 30 days. So I already know, Chanel, you're going to expend a lot of energy. Let's schedule you a massage so that you can already have your self-care built in. Let's get you a massage. Let's get you an appointment with the reflexologist so that you can get a foot massage and make yourself feel better. Let's get an appointment with acupuncture. Let's go to the chiropractor. Let's go get a scalp massage. Whatever it is you need to do for you, it should be scheduled in advance. Let's schedule the doctor's appointment. Right now, I need to schedule a doctor's appointment, and I am going to schedule my appointment. You have to be willing to do the things that you need to do to take care of you. And it shouldn't be in response to, they don't stress me out. They getting on my nerves. I ain't done nothing for myself in all this time. No, that ain't what it should be in the energy of. It should be in the energy of, I am the main character. Some people do not understand why different people are treated different ways. When I used to do school consulting in this one district, I would show up. They would have my little space ready for me. They would have a bottled water for me, and they would have some white cheddar popcorn, and those little snack pack of crackers, like peanut butter crackers. They would have the peanut butter crackers for me, and they would have some paper on my desk and some pen in this little space that I always work in. And other consultants would show up and they wouldn't have anything for them. And they'd be like, oh, Dr. D is coming, so we got to get her space set up. And so this one consultant came up to me and she thought I was like this huge big deal. Y'all, I am, for real. I am. I'm just saying. She thought I was like this huge big deal. And so she came over to me and she was like, hey, how are you? So, we having a conversation, we're talking. And she was like, can I ask you what it is that you do? And so I was telling her, I work with the leaders and I'm going to do a PD for the teachers today to help them to understand more about how to get students to ask better questions in the classroom. So she was like, okay, I want to ask you something. So how did you get them to do this for you? And I was like, to do what for me? And she was like, how did you get them to, have your water and all of this? Because they don't do that for me. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Because I simply asked. I said, I simply asked. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Think about that. So they have consultants coming through the building all year long. Think about how many people come through your building all year long. It was as simple as me when I sent my email, and after we signed the contract, I let them know, I let the secretary know that I want to, ask for a couple of things if that's okay, because I want to be able to perform at my highest level. I want to be able to perform at my highest level. I often get, my throat gets quenched. I get thirsty. My mouth gets dry from talking a lot while I'm doing a 3 hour PD. It would be great if I could drink 16 ounces of water before I go on stay, or, into the PD, and then 16 ounces of water after or during the PD so that I can maintain my momentum. Also, I don't want to leave to go grab lunch, because if anything happens to the presenter while you're gone, so say I leave to go get lunch and then I'm in a car accident. We don't get to determine when accidents happen. Say I leave and I'm in a car accident. Well, then the rest of the PD is messed up because I'm the actual presenter. What if I leave and the line is too long, or I have a flat tire, or any of the things that happen? Well, now we're in a different problem. Okay. So to avoid that, if I can just get like I love white cheddar popcorn. If you can get me some white cheddar popcorn and maybe a pack of crackers, that'll push me through. I'll be fine. I'll finish up the PD. I won't leave the building. So we can avoid that problem, and I'll be fine. And they do it. They did it every time. I was in that building for 3 years and they did it every time. Every time. Every time, simply because I asked, because I know that I'm the main character. I knew that I was the one that was going to be in front of the stage. I knew my value, and they didn't know their value. They didn't know to ask. They didn't even think about what they needed to perform at their highest level. Now, am I going in like a diva saying, like I'm a entertainer or something? No, I explained to her why it is that I needed these things and how I would appreciate it if she could accommodate that. Obviously, I can't fly there and bring waters there. Obviously, I'm coming from a hotel. I ain't got time to stop at a grocery store. People are willing to give you what you ask for, but at no point did I think that she was not going to get me what I need. Again, we have to ask for what we want. We cannot be vague. And then we ask for stuff and then we forget that we asked for it. And so we don't even know when it shows up. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the month of May? What are you manifesting? What are you calling into your world? What experiences are you looking to have? What type of people are you looking to meet? We got to get around people who are doing more than us. We can't just keep talking to our same teacher friends, thinking and hoping and praying that that's going to change our lives. The same way that we got in that hole is not the way you're going to get out of that hole. You got to get a different set of people in your life. You got to go to some different places. You got to have some different thoughts, and you got to have some different actions. A lot of things got to change. We don't want to do anything that causes us to have to get out of our comfort zone. There are some people who are looking to leave the school system. You are looking to leave. You scared to say that you don't want to be there anymore. Because if you say it, then you know you have to do something about it. There are people who know I need to bring more money into my household. And in your mind, you're thinking, let me go get another job. In your mind, you're thinking, let me get another job. It's some of y'all who done signed up for summer school. It's some of y'all who have signed up for summer school. And there is nothing wrong with working summer school. Do not think that I am downing you or talking down to you. But what if you could think about a bigger idea? What if you thought about a bigger idea? What if you said, I am going to not take the summer money that ain't enough anyway? What you gonna make $3,000 over the summer, $3,500, and you gonna show up to school for 30 days and yeah, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And then you gonna do what you need to do. You gonna pay two bills and you back to square one. What if you thought a bigger idea and say, I am going to use this summer to see how I can produce a product to sell to bring more money in. And then I can make money not only in the summer, but all throughout the year. Some of us are just scared to give it a try. Okay, Care Cozy said, and get them tax on that $3,000 too, and pension and all of that stuff. Like, I want us to think a bigger idea. I want us to have bigger ideas. We're afraid to have bigger ideas. It doesn't have to be school consulting. Whatever your skill is, it can be monetized. It can be monetized. But you got to be willing. Some of us are scared that people are going to judge us. Some of us, I'm telling you, you can manifest this in the month of May. Let's start manifesting this in the month of May. Some of us got to decide. We're too scared to say, I'm not working summer school this year. We feel like I got to work summer school. That's the only way I'm going to make it through the summer. How do you know? How do you know? Why don't you try it? I did that for what I worked summer school for 8 years. I think it was 8 years straight. Never missed summer school because I needed that check. I worked summer school every year for 8 years, back to back to back. They knew Chanel would be willing to work summer school. They would come, and I wanted to make sure that I got my little paperwork in so that I was on the roster for summer school. And then again, the Lord always show us. I was signed up for summer school. I was at Imagine College Prep Academy, baby. And I had a simple, what is it, outpatient surgery. It was supposed to be, no, it wasn't outpatient. It was inpatient, but I was only supposed to be there for a day. And then they let me out the next day. And then you have to take 3 days off. So I strategically planned my surgery on that Thursday. I would get released from the hospital that Friday, and then I would be off that Saturday and Sunday, and I would be able to be back at work at summer school on Monday. I had strategically planned it. What I didn't plan for was reality, that you're not in control. And so I was in the ICU for 30 days, 30 straight days, 30 days straight. There are some people in my life who don't even remember this time in my life. I was in the ICU, had my own nurse sitting at the end of my bed with all types of tubes and everything in my throat because the surgery did not go as planned. And guess what? Summer school went on. Now, one of them teachers came to see me. They wanted to know where I was, why I wasn't there. And once they found out I was in the hospital, the call stopped. They just was calling to figure out why I wasn't there. But here's the point in this. I continue. Like I was able to live and not have that summer school money. I was able to live. But in my mind, I couldn't make it without the summer school money. I made it. And that showed me you don't have to work summer school. I never worked summer school again after that. Because if I can make it with my regular check, because we space our checks out, so we still get paid over the summer. And that summer school check was just an additional check. I made it through that first summer without summer school check. I never worked summer school after that. But I also had peace. I was able to rest. I was able to get some sleep. I was able to take care of myself. I didn't have to worry about kids being disrespectful. I didn't have to, because in summer school, you get all of the kids who couldn't act right during the school year. Let's be honest. And so I didn't have to worry about any of that. I didn't have to worry about putting grades in, and it was absolutely great. And so at the end, once that was over, I was like, oh, I won't work summer school again. We don't know how we can make things work until we're put in a situation to make things work. And so I want us to understand you can make money. You got to think a bigger idea. You got to get with people who are doing bigger things. You have to put yourself in spaces that are not the level of energy that you don't need. That whole idea of going to Texas Roadhouse is a whole different experience with a whole different type of people as opposed to where we ended up at. Whole different experience. And when we can understand that we create our own reality, we create our own reality. We say these little phrases, I'm waiting on God. God, you ain't waiting on God. God waiting on you. You scared to move. You're scared to take action. And it's okay to be scared, but do it anyway. That's where courage comes in. You can't be courageous if you ain't scared. It's not courageous if you're not scared. When you are scared, that's when you can take action still. I do it scared every day. Every time I have to do something, I'm scared, I'm nervous. But what I do know is that I ain't never been let down. When I'm manifesting, I have to get around people who can dream a bigger dream than what I can. I'll be asking for this. And then I'll get around people who are big dreamers, and they will elevate my idea, and they'll be like, Chanel, why don't you try this? Did you think about this? Did you think about that? I have some people in my life who don't have big dreams. They have small dreams. They have regular dreams. They have settled. So why would I think that they can help me to have a bigger dream? No, I had to put myself in rooms with people who have big dreams, and I had to take on part of their identity. I tell y'all all the time, I like to rub elbows with people who are doing a lot, because when I rub elbows with you, I'm feeling your energy. I'm seeing what is the energy that you have. Some of the things that I noticed about people who do amazing things, they are amazing givers. They give a lot, but they give from a place of fullness and not from a place of depletion. One of the first things that I noticed, I have a person in my life who God saw fit to connect me with. This lady is so amazing. This lady is so amazing. And she is so giving. She is so generous. When I say she is generous, she is extremely generous. But guess what? She gives from her overflow. She does not give from her cup. When her cup is full, that's when she then gives to everybody else. She not trying to empty her cup to give to you. When I say she connects us with all types of people, when I say she will donate to all types of causes, when I say she will show up at events, when I say she will call and check on you, but she is not doing her main job in order to check on you. She's going to do her main job first, make sure that's complete, and then she's going to check on you later on. If can fit you dropping into your event into her schedule, she will do it. But her cup stays full. Too many of us are trying to give from an empty cup, and that doesn't work, because that's what's depleting and draining you, because we're trying to give from an empty cup. And so as I've been with these people who have these bigger dreams, who are doing these bigger things, I had to evaluate myself. And that's why I'm here asking y'all today, what are you manifesting for May? Because we are halfway through the month. If we don't make some changes right now, we're going to get to the end of the month. And at the end of the month, May is going to be just like April was. And then June is going to be just like May was. It's a cycle. The reason why things stay the same is that we don't change it. We don't change our thoughts. We don't change our decisions. We don't change our actions. We don't change the rooms that we're in. We want to stay the same and continue to do the same thing and think that we're going to get a different result. And that's not the way that it's going to work. Just like I said, Care Cozy is she's stepping into being a curriculum writer. What does a curriculum writer do? How do they act? How do they spend their time? How much time do they spend on curriculum writing? Do they get off track all the time because they're doing 10 other things? Or when they're doing curriculum writing, or are they focused on curriculum writing? So you got to think about, when I step into this person, into this role, am I really stepping into it? Am I taking on their mindset? Am I taking on their actions? Am I taking on their belief system? We got to come out of what it is that we normally do. When I said this month, I was coming live every day, Monday through Friday, not Saturday and Sunday, but during the month of May, for the month of me, I knew that there would be challenges because A, my son's birthday is this month. B, it was Mother's Day this month. So I knew that there would be some time challenges. You don't let the challenges stop you. The challenges are going to be there to let you see what's really possible. That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm here today. We think that the obstacles are denial. They're not. And they don't even have to be delayed. We allow them to delay us. What books are you reading to help you to move past the thing that is an obstacle for you? Again, everybody, if you have not read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, you need to read The Big Leap. The reason why a lot of us can't get to where we're trying to go is because we don't even know the things that are blocking us. And all of the successful people before us who wanted to do something big and something different went through these things. And then people wrote about it. They said, let me write to tell the other people so they won't go through the same things we went through, or at least they'll be able to identify the things. And then we get on here and we tell y'all, read this book, read this book, read this book, read this book. The Big Leap, The Big Leap, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, by Gay Hendricks, by Gay Hendricks. We tell you, read this book, read this book, read this book. And then you say, I am. I'm putting that on my list. I'm putting that on my list. And then you don't read it. And then you go to manifest, and then something happens, and then you give up and you quit. You get a new idea, you go with that. Somebody comes and presents something to you that sounds good, and you go with that, and you didn't know that all of that was a distraction because you still trying to figure things out when there's a book out there that will help you to figure it out, and you don't have to do all of that. And you will understand when that job opportunity comes to you, all of y'all, when you decide I'm leaving my job, when you decide I'm doing something different, it's going to be another opportunity that's going to come to throw you off track. It's going to be another opportunity that you think it's something that you're supposed to do. And you got to be wise enough to know that ain't what I asked for. That ain't what I asked for. When I left my school system and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like the politics of it. I don't like the way things are going. I'm done. I was good at what I do. I got a call. I didn't put in no application. I did not put in an application. I got a call from the HR person over at Ladue School District, one of the best school districts here in Missouri. And they said, hey, we heard that you are no longer the principal over at Barbara Jordan Elementary. We'd love for you to apply for our assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction role. Anybody who knows that is a good position. And I was excited. I was happy. I was like, oh my God. And they called me. I was like, if they call me, that means that they are really interested. They probably really want me to they're going to give it to me. I need to do this. And then I had to be brought back. All of the things you said you didn't want is everything that's over there at Ladue School District. That same schedule. The only thing you're going to get is a little more money, and a little more money wasn't but about $20,000 extra. You still going to be having to put that fake smile on your face. You still going to have to show up. You still going to have to do all the things that you was doing over here as the principal. Now you're going to have to do more of it as the assistant superintendent. All eyes still going to be on you. You're going to have to supervise people. You're going to have to, all the things you didn't want to do, you're going to still have to do. That was the distraction. Now, if I had not been focused and understood, I would have failed for that. I would have fallen for that and took that job over there at the Ladue School District. I would have been their assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction. I would have been a black face for them to put on the thing, and they weren't going to listen to nothing that I had to say. Yep, that's what I said. And then I had to realize, no, you left to do consulting. If you're going to do consulting, and at least give the consulting a chance. You just going to go straight into another job, which was the thing that you didn't want. But a lot of us don't understand. Yes, Arlena, it's The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. A lot of us don't understand that distraction is going to come. A lot of us don't understand as soon as you get into your path of what it is you've decided that you're going to do, you're going to experience a financial barrier. A lot of us don't understand that financial barrier is going to come. It's going to be there. And it's to throw you back into your sameness. And you have to decide when that financial barrier comes, are you going to quit or are you going to keep pushing forward? A lot of us, we're going to be doing just fine in our relationship. And then you're going to be on your path to this new thing that you're doing, this bigger idea, this thing that you are looking to manifest. And out of the blue, you're going to have relationship problems. You're going to have relationship problems, whether that's an intimate relationship, a family relationship, whatever it is. It's going to be a relationship problem to distract you from the big goal that you were moving towards, to take you off path. Too many of us fall for it. Here's the other one that's going to happen. A lot of us, we're going to get on our path. We're going to be doing the thing that we prayed for, that we asked for. The manifestation is coming into fruition. You can see it forming. You can feel that you are stepping into it. And then somebody will die in our family. And it will take us out. It will take us out. I'm not saying you shouldn't be sad and it's not heart-wrenching. It happened to me, I'm telling you. I got into my manifestation and guess what? They gave my mama 10 days to live. I was in my manifestation. I had left the school system. I was doing the thing. I was building. I was trying to gain momentum. We went to the doctor and my mama was walking, talking, doing all the things, no support, no anything. That doctor said she got 10 days. Kidney failure. Kidneys ain't operate. What? Are you serious? 10 days? Wait a minute. That don't even go together. So I had to, and this my mama, I was the favorite. Okay, I was the favorite. Okay, and I had to determine: am I going to let this take me out? Am I going to let it take me out? You can take time to grieve. You can be sad. You can experience all of the emotions. But what I had said to myself, I am not quitting my business. That's like saying I'm going to quit my kids because my mama died. And I didn't want my mom. It was 10 days. I was thankful to have 10 days. But oh my goodness, can you imagine that? I was at the doctor's appointment. I was there. And it was 10. That man called me in the hall to tell me. He didn't tell her. He told me that she got 10 days to live. If she don't get the dialysis, she got 10 days. We can do dialysis today. We can start today. But if she don't make this decision, she got 10 days. And in my heart of hearts, I already knew my mama wasn't going to do dialysis. I already knew she wasn't going to do dialysis. 10 days. But I had to make a decision. And I was like, okay. My role is to be supportive. And my role is to get her whatever she needs and to give her total comfort in these last 10 days. Because she said, I'm not doing dialysis. I'm not doing no dialysis. So I know that these things are going to happen when it's time for you to take a big leap, when you are working to manifest something. But if you don't know that it's going to happen, that's how it's going to take you out. So I want to know, what are you manifesting for the rest of the month of May? And be specific. Why is it that we are not willing to just take a few minutes and think about what is it that we want to have for the rest of the month of May? What experiences do we want to have? Who are the people that we want to invite into our life? What connections do we want to make? What relationships do we want to build? What are the places we want to go? What are the things that we ourselves want to build? I love that Care Cozy said that she's going to finish her curriculum this month. What are we doing? What is it that we're manifesting? Is there an experience that you want? And what are the actions that you need to take to bring this into reality? You get to design the life of your dreams, and you are in charge of your life. Nobody else is in charge of your life. And then until you make the decision that I am taking charge of my life, I am done letting other people tell me what I can have. I am done settling. I'm done just taking what people give me. I'm done being so accommodating that I just go with the flow. You don't have to just keep going with the flow. No, you can mentally say, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to have. That's the reason why some of us go to a car lot wanting one car and end up with another car, because we settled. That's the reason why some of us bought our house based off the job that we work and what they said our salary schedule was going to be, because we settled. That ain't what you dreamed for. That ain't what you dreamed of as a child. That ain't what you dreamed of as an adult. Some of us are in relationships that we know are not fulfilling, or not giving us what we need, or not serving us at this point anymore. And we maintain those relationships, whether they're intimate, whether they're friendships, whether they are family, whatever they may be. We continue to do the thing because it's easy. We got to stop doing the easy thing and know that you are the main character on the stage. You are the main character. Those are the supporting cast. If the supporting cast come trying to say your lines and take your role, you need to get that supporting cast member off your stage. Stop having people on stage with you who are not there to support you. They are there to take over your life. They are there to control you. They are there to tell you what it is you need to do and how it is you should be thinking. You need to disconnect from those people. Move on away. Get some replacements. Yes, get some replacements. We need to add to our lives. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm still looking for some comments in that chat. If you're with me on YouTube, go ahead, make sure that you subscribe, leave me a comment. But that's it, y'all. I'm telling you, I had an amazing Mother's Day, and I hope that you all did too. I was with an amazing group of women who are doing amazing things. We had a really good time, great conversation, some really good laughs, and we took some really great pictures. And I totally and thoroughly enjoyed myself. And so I love what I manifested, and I'm looking to manifest some more. So I hope that you are too. I hope that the rest of your May is filled with all the things that your heart desires, and that you know what it is that your heart desires, so that when it shows up, you will know that it has shown up. So I'll talk to y'all later.